So I just went to my first ArmadilloCon and I had such a good time, and I want to talk about my experience there, the fun things that I did, the cool people that I met, and the great books and art that I came home with. Yeah, so ArmadilloCon, I don't know if you know what this is, but this is a science fiction, fantasy, horror, reading, books, literature festival here in Austin, Texas. And this year was the 47th year, which is kind of insane to think about. So yeah, this thing started in the 70s by some sci-fi, fantasy, horror fans in the Austin community, and it has grown over the years. And this year, I finally got to go. I've been wanting to go for years now, and it just hasn't worked out with the timing. But this year, I got to go, and I was very excited. So one of the things that I got, because of course when we got there, okay, let me back up for just a second. I wanted to get there at a certain time because I wanted to see a panel called Stealing the Shire, which was about capers in fantasy, heists and capers in fantasy. I was very excited. We got there a little bit later than I had hoped that we would, but that's because we were actually working the event, and so we had a lot of stuff, gear that we had to bring. So yeah, we ran a little bit late, and so whenever I tried to go sneak into the Stealing the Shire panel, I opened the door to the conference room, and the room was full. All the chairs were taken, but of course I walked in, the door was like towards the front of the room. So people are talking. I open the door, shove my face in, see that the chairs are totally full and the conversation is already going, panic, and just turn around and leave. So everyone in the room saw me in my panic, awkward state, but it's fine. It's whatever. So that was my first experience figuring this out. So we went to the dealer's room for the rest of that time slot. And of course I had to get some stuff. I actually don't remember who I got this from, and I need to rectify that. But I got this tiny little pin, and it has UFOs abducting a dinosaur and a Bigfoot. I don't know if you can see that. Am I just making it blurry? I think I'm just making it blurry. Okay. But I had to have this. So it's a little pin that I can wear. Oh, I just threw it across off the table. That's fine. And then there was a tea table, and so I had to stop and get teas. This is Tabletop teas, and they're actually local here in Austin. I got this cool blend called Level Up, and it's vanilla, almond, raspberry, black tea with sprinkles. I don't know if you can see that, but so Tabletop teas, and that is what I'm drinking this morning for this tea chat. And the tea is delicious. They actually had a few other flavors on their menu that I was very tempted by as well. So I'm going to be on their website ordering more tea for sure, but reasonably priced, very delicious, made here in Austin by it's a woman-owned business, and it's geek inspired. And disabled owned as well, and hand blended. So Tabletop teas, check them out. So the reason why I got to go this year is because I was a volunteer with the Austin Public Library. That's why I have this cool fancy mug. I was part of the team with the Van show with the Austin Public Library. If you don't know Van, you need to find some videos on the APL's YouTube channel, because Van is a blue furry puppet that loves interviewing authors, illustrators, filmmakers, all kinds of people. And Van was a panel moderator for a couple of things this weekend at ArmadilloCon. And as some of you know, the puppeteer behind Van is my partner. He is also a librarian at Austin Public Library, which is why I have this cool mug. I'm going to show it to you again, just one more time. Is it blurry? Can you see it? Who knows? Okay. The tea is delicious. Tabletop teas. So yeah, what else did I get? Oh, so then I went to another panel. After I went shopping, I went to a panel called Burn It All Down about feminine rage, and it was amazing. I loved listening to the authors that were talking on this panel. Let me pull up all of the names for you. So, the Burn It All Down panel, Feminine Rage in Science Fiction and Fantasy. This was a truly fantastic panel to be able to watch. So it was moderated by Lindsay Miller, and then the panelists were Holly Lynn Walrath, Holly Lynn Walrath, and Patrice Sarath, Aparna Verma, Gabriella Buba, and Samantha Mills. Gabriella Buba showed up with a pile of matchbooks for the Burn It All Down panel, so you knew it was going to be good. But her matchbooks... Oh, hold on a second. I have some. They are wrapped in the artwork of her book covers for a duology that she has. What a great idea. Fantastic swag here. So that was a cute touch and lots of fun. And then we also got to see a panel called, was it Surfing the Bookternet? So all about creating content for the different corners of the internet. I guess we have Book Talk, Bookstagram, Book Threads, all that, kind of Blue Sky Books or whatever. But we got to learn a lot about being a writer on the internet and how to craft your content for different platforms and stuff like that. And that was really good as well. And then we got to go into the art gallery and bid on stuff in the auction. And then a couple of the pieces that we had bid on actually went to the live auction later that day. And my partner went and bid on two pieces that had moved to the auction. But let me show you what we got. These are both by the illustrator artist Sally Hamilton. There we go. Both of these are by Sally Hamilton. So yeah, we have, this one was my pick. And this one was my partner's pick. So yeah, we came home with cute art by an independent artist, which you always should be supporting independent artists and buy real art from real humans, even if they're sci-fi. Sci-fi art should still be made by humans. Okay, what else did I do? And then I went to, one of the coolest things that I did was get to go and meet some of the members of the Armadillo Authors Society, which was really fantastic because one of the things that I have been dealing with in deciding to write more and maybe pursue publication is that I don't have a community of writers. I've built creative communities in other arts, but not as a writer. And so to meet these women who had already put this group together, they started in 2017. I guess they have roughly 20 members right now. But just to hear the way that they talked about the community aspect of the Armadillo Authors Society was really fantastic. It was really uplifting. It was really inspiring. It was finally that moment of like, I can belong. I can have somewhere to belong. I don't have to be alone in what I'm doing. It was just a really, really nice feeling because I haven't found that in a while. Well, I also haven't started anything new in a while, but regardless, it was really, really nice just to be able to meet some of them. And it turns out I'd already met one of them before, but I felt like I was starting to make some connections, and that made me really happy. That sense of belonging. I can do this. I can belong somewhere. There are people that I can have in community, that I can be a part of. So that was nice. This put a little pep in my step this weekend. And then, so I went to the reading of Gabriella Buba. She was doing some reading of two pieces, or a piece from each of her books in her duology, and then she gifted me one and signed it for me as well. So it's signed and it's pretty and it's substantial. This, though, is the second book, which means I have to buy the first book because obviously I have to read that one first. So not only was this a really, really good strategy on her part to get me to buy the first book, I thought it was just a really cute thing to do, but I was going to buy the first book anyway. And so, yeah, I was already going to buy the first book because just listening to her talk about the books in the Burn It All Down panel, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sold. So, but I got the second one and it's signed by the author, so that's extra cool. What else? I also got a book by Lynn Walrath, Numinous Stones. So this is supposed to be kind of dark, some darkness going on here, some grief poems, some graveyards, some tombstones. I think, yeah, but Holly Lynn writes poetry, and that was another wonderful panel that I was able to go to, was about speculative poetry and how like the Nebula and the Hugo awards have added poetry awards to their poetry sections to their awards. So it was really cool just to talk to or listen to their panel about speculative poetry, because it's not really something that I had considered. I wrote poetry many moons ago in college. I was a little more angsty then, and they were not good. They were not good. And I would explore poetry again, but I would want it in the context of speculative fiction, because I kind of want everything in my creative world to be based on speculative fiction at this point. So yeah, so that was a really, really interesting panel. I feel like I learned a lot just by all of the presenters and all of the panels that I got to go to. I feel like I really have a lot. I'm still processing. I'm still just like mentally chewing on all of this stuff, all of my the things that I've learned, the people that I met, just the full experience. And it was a very happy little bubble for the weekend. And I'm just really, really happy that I was able to be there. And I have to go again. So some of you know, but I used to be a programmer and an outreach director, and on the marketing team for Other Worlds Film Festival, which was science fiction and horror films, and it was great. We did feature films, we did shorts programs, we did documentaries, we had amazing after parties. It was a really great time, and that festival went on for 9 years, and I was part of it in some way, shape, or form over the course of those 9 years. I think only 3 years I wasn't actively on the team, but it was a big part of my life for a while, and it closed down after its 9th year, and I've been extremely bummed since then, and wanting to find another community like that for me to get involved in. And so being at ArmadilloCon really brought all of those feelings back from how much I loved Otherworlds and just festival life, convention life, geek life, just celebrating the work of all of these independent artists and writers and filmmakers. It's my happy place. This is my bubble. This is my happy place, and I get to go there again this weekend for a con that I hadn't been to before. So I'm happy. I have been floating. Even though on Saturday I think I was really nervous because I didn't know anybody yet. I don't know these people, but I felt pretty instantly welcomed. I felt pretty instantly just kind of a part of it. And then Sunday was just an even better day because I was already riding on all of the good feelings I had from Saturday. So Sunday I feel like I was a little bit more myself, a little bit more outgoing. Though Saturday I felt, awkward and quiet and small. But Sunday I felt a little more me. And so thank you ArmadilloCon for being such a great place, and for everything that you are doing and have been doing throughout the years. I think this is a really important convention. If you are in the Austin area, if you can travel to Austin for a weekend and you are into science fiction, fantasy, horror, that corner of geekdom, and you like to read or you write, come out, go to the ArmadilloCon website, and they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, but seriously, please check out this festival. It is just a gem, an absolute gem. But yeah, so I had a wonderful time. I'm just very happy right now. So I'm going to continue being happy about this and drinking my tea. Remember Tabletop teas? Go check them out. They're also delightful people. The pair at the table, they're very cute, very sweet, very nice, just super cool, good people. So go check out Tabletop teas. Yeah, so I'm Kaylee. I like tea and talking about other things that I like ArmadilloCon. And I hope that you join me again to talk about more teas and mugs and things that I like.